Hello, folks. Welcome back to my channel. This is the World of TV Shows, and today I have another episode review for you of Cold Case, and this time it'll be on the 7th episode of the first season called A Time to Hate. The episode originally aired on November 16, 2003. The episode was directed by Darren Sarafian and written by Meredith Stein and Jan Oxenberg. In this episode, the team is going to be investigating a murder case from 1964 where a college student who was a baseball player was killed in a dark alley. So, yes, this young boy had some secrets of his own. So basically, the team is going to be, investigating and trying to understand whether this secret of his could have led to his death. And without wanting to spoil too much anything about what it was, yes, it might have been the reason why this case wasn't properly investigated the first time around, as the mother is going to show up at the beginning at the police headquarters asking for the detectives to now take another look at the case in 2003 and try their level best to bring the family some justice, right? So the team is going to be looking in a lot of different directions, and it's going to kind of force them to have a new look as well at the history of the department, right? And it appears that the department's past is not exactly squeaky clean, for lack of better terms, right? And that it might have had some bad apples in the past, right? So also, since it appears that this young boy was hit on the head, and a possible murder weapon could have been a baseball bat or even some kind of a nightstick, which means that the police could have been involved. And it has to do with this young boy's secrets, as I said, which I don't want to spoil for you here today. So that's why I'm keeping it a little spoiler free, a little, not really. I like a good mystery. Usually it's good not to reveal too much in these reviews, to let you find out for yourselves what exactly is the main theme of the episode and how it affects the detectives and their job, especially, right? Their job. So this is pretty much how the episode goes, and they're gonna be looking at some hidden kind of, how could I say, some there's gonna be a lot of secrecy in this episode, and a lot of you might say a kind of secret kind of I don't know really how to mention it, but yes, secrecy is a big theme of the episode, and they're gonna try their level best to uncover, the truth and find out for themselves, what really happened, and go a little bit behind the scenes to find out, what truly happened on that day, on that night when this young boy was found dead. So this is pretty much how it goes, and without trying to sound too boring at some point, since I'm noticing that I'm a little, tripping a little bit over words today, so I'll better stop right here. But A Time to Hate was a pretty good episode, and we can move on to the actors. So we have Chelsea Ross, who plays Henry Phillips in 2003. Bill Henderson, yes, Chelsea Ross is a pretty great actor, in my opinion. Bill Henderson plays George Polk. Then we have Kathleen Lloyd, who plays Deborah. Then we have Lisa Long, who plays Helen Holtz in 1964. Patrick McManus, who plays Daniel Holtz. Michael Potter plays Timmy O'Brien. And Brent Ralph plays Henry Phillips in 1964. We have Paul Vincent O'Connor, who plays Paul Nelson in 2003. Barbara Torbuck plays Helen Holtz in 2003, the mother. But yeah, Melissa Ivan Lewis plays Deborah in 1964. Patrick Gallo plays Anthony DeSica in 1964. And we have some other actors and characters, but most of them did a pretty good, awesome job in playing these characters. And it shows that, there's obviously the difference between the past and the present time, and how things change and evolve, right? In terms of the department of the police, and yes, right. So in their policy mostly, right? So I thought this episode was pretty interesting, pretty. It was a pretty good episode, right? I'm not. Yes, I did enjoy how to find out the truth for ourselves as to what truly happened on that night. And, despite the fact that, obviously, we, there are some, certain things, certain sins are basically, obviously, many people would, that who have religious views don't, don't believe in certain things that are, that many people could have a different perspective about. But again, this violence that we have in this episode is completely wrong, and that, it really exposes the violence nature, and that how much it is evil, as it says, a time to hate. So to use violence to these ends is just completely wrong, and that, one should speak and make good use of the ability they have to explain, and not to end up, falling, into this great sin that is, violence. And, this kind of vigilantism in this episode is exposed, and it's not really, it shows also that the police itself is, was at the time a little complicit. But again, that there is always, better ways, better alternatives, and that violence is never the way. And that really, makes you think, because, this is just a young college student, and it's just very sad to see that this happened to him the way it did, and a very violent way, and mocking, and, wasting of food. All this is completely wrong. And, it's a good thing that, there's the police itself is not, again, this is a TV show, so this is fictional, this is in the reality of the show. But when the police was so bad, and now in 2003 they're better, in terms of, there's less, violence, and less, hatefulness, in the sense that, it is not befitting to use violence to these ends, as I said, because, one cannot use one's, own, you know, how could I say? It's a little difficult for me to express this, but I believe that you get the picture that, violence is never the good way to go around things. Instead, one should speak, one should try to talk to people, and never, resort to, such cowardly ways, really, especially when you see the ending. It's very, very sad. It's heartbreaking, even, because, the sad music is playing, and you have that thing that murder taking place just like that. And it seems that, you don't really understand, why. But again, this is there's a message behind this episode, that, violence is, in all of its forms, is evil, and detrimental to society, to people, to human beings, and that, violence is never the good way to approach things. Instead, speaking wisely, advising, being nice, being kind, being respectful, being patient is the best possible ways. But violence, does not solve anything. I mean, this is my perspective, again, as a religious person. And it depends on somebody's perspective while watching these episodes about what they thought, how they see the episodes, what they think about it. But this is how I see. So, yes, it's a good way to expose the violence, especially police violence, police brutality, as it is known as. So if I were to rate this episode on a scale from 1 to 10, I'd give it a 7 out of 10. It was a pretty good episode on showing how violence is never the answer. So 7 out of 10 for me for this episode. What about you folks? What did you think about it? Did you like it? Did you hate it? Let me know in the comment section down below. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you on the next episode review. God willing. In the meantime, folks, stay safe. Goodbye. Take care. This is the World of TV Show signing off.